What if you could just press pause and take a snapshot of the entire planet on one single day? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're zeroing in on today, September 9th, 2025, to see if we can find the hidden connections and powerful forces shaping all of our lives. It's a pretty big question, right? Can one single day, just 24 hours, really tell us that much about our collective hopes, our fears, our direction? I think it can. Let's find out what story today is telling us. All right, first up, let's follow the money. I mean, where is it all flowing today? And what does that tell us about how we're all feeling? Confident? Or maybe a little bit scared? So the big headline in the financial world today is all about optimism. Seriously, there's a real buzz. Investors are feeling pretty good, betting that the U.S. Federal Reserve is about to cut interest rates. That would make it cheaper to borrow and invest, so it's basically a big green light for economic growth. And you can really see that optimism in the tech world. The Nasdaq, which is packed with all the big tech giants, just hit a brand new record high. That is a massive vote of confidence in the future. But that's not the whole story. Because look at this. At the very same moment tech stocks are flying high, the price of gold, the ultimate safety net, is also surging. This right here shows such a fascinating split. It's like one half of the world is sprinting towards growth, while the other half is quietly stocking up on insurance. Okay, before we go any further, just a quick explainer on a term you'll hear a lot, the ex-dividend date. All it means is it's the cutoff day. If you own the stock before this date, you get the next dividend payment. If you buy it on or after this date, you don't. Simple as that. And here's why that little detail matters today. For anyone who owns shares in Ross stores, all that abstract market stuff becomes very, very real. Today's their ex-dividend date, so they're getting a check for about 40 cents for every single share they own. It's the perfect example of how a Wall Street headline actually turns into cash in someone's pocket. So we've followed the money, which is definitely one kind of power. But now let's look at another kind. How is political power being used? How is it being challenged? And how is it being negotiated all around the world right now? Today gives us this perfect side-by-side look at how governance works. On one hand, you've got something super local. Voters in one single district in Virginia are picking their representative. But on the other hand, all the way in New York, the UN General Assembly is kicking off, a huge gathering of pretty much every nation on Earth. Both are happening as we speak. But of course, power isn't always so orderly. It's not always about polite debates and casting ballots. In some places, the relationship between the people and their government is, it's a lot more tense. And for that, we need to turn our attention to Nepal. So, how did things get to this point? It was a chain reaction, really. It all started when the government decided to ban social media. That sparked immediate protests on the streets. And here's the key part. Even after the government walked back the ban, it was too late. The anger had already boiled over, and things escalated tragically. And that escalation has had a devastating human cost. We're not just talking about political disagreements here. Today's reports are confirming that at least 19 people have lost their lives, and hundreds more have been injured. It's just a heartbreaking reminder of what's at stake when power and the people clash. But just like with the markets, conflict isn't the whole picture today. While those protests are happening in Nepal, a completely different story is playing out thousands of miles away, where Australia is working to build a partnership with the island nation of Vanuatu. And we are not talking about a small gesture here. This is a proposed $500 million pact for security and the economy. It's a classic example of what experts call soft power, using partnership and investment, not force, to build alliances and influence. Okay, for our final stop on this one-day tour, let's look to the horizon. What are we all obsessing over today that tells us something about where we think we're going? And the answer is pretty cool. It involves the brand new and the incredibly old. I mean, you can't really talk about the future without talking about tech, right? And today, it's all about Apple. Their tagline for the big event is awe-dropping. It's a cheesy pun, sure, but it perfectly captures that constant, relentless craving we have for whatever's next. So what's everyone waiting for? Well, it's the usual suspects, right? The brand new iPhone 17, some cool new features, maybe a few new colors. It's a very specific vision of the future, one that gets a little better each year and fits right in the palm of your hand. But here's where the snapshot of today gets, I think, really beautiful. Because while millions of us are glued to these tiny screens, waiting for the next big thing, Another story is grabbing our attention, one that reminds us of a much, much bigger picture. See, a lot of the buzz today is still left over from this incredible event just a couple of nights ago. A total lunar eclipse, a blood moon, was visible across huge parts of the globe. And it's a powerful reminder that our future isn't just about what we can build, but also about where we fit in the cosmos. And for over 82 minutes, which is a long time, the moon was completely in Earth's shadow. In that window, millions of people from totally different countries and cultures were all staring up at the exact same sky, sharing this moment of just pure awe. It's such a powerful contrast to a tech launch, isn't it? So, we've taken our whirlwind tour of September 9th, 2025. What's the takeaway? What's the bigger story that pops out when we connect all these seemingly random events? Well, three things really jump out to me. First, we see a world that's financially torn, chasing risky high-tech growth with one hand while buying up safe haven gold with the other. Second, we see that power is always being negotiated, sometimes peacefully in voting booths and at the UN, and sometimes violently on the streets. And finally, there's this amazing dual vision of the future. We're obsessed with the next gadget, yet we can still be stopped in our tracks by the ancient wonder of the universe. It's a whole lot to pull from just 24 hours. And it leaves you with one last question to chew on. If one single random Tuesday can show us all these deep currents of conflict, hope, and wonder, just imagine what we're missing on all the other days we're not paying such close attention. What other stories are unfolding right now just beneath the surface?